It's a new year, and a lot of you guys want to be successful, and you want to rise above the ranks of mediocrity and failure where you have dwelled the majority of your life. In order to do so, you're going to have to learn some new things and some new skills. I have 10 books that I think everyone should read in 2024 if success is important to them. If they're serious about succeeding in 2024, they need to read these books. And we're going to hop right into it. I have a tier list here. So I like all these books, but I'm going to rank them in importance. First of like read now, motherfucker. Must read after the read now, like this is next. These are ones you should read. This is read when you get a chance. And they wouldn't let me have less than 4 or I didn't know how to do it. So we're just going to ignore D. Pause. Here's 10 books you should read to succeed in 2024. First, we're going to start with one of my favorite books, Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. You know, it's weird. I don't know what kind of reputation Tony has. He's a billionaire, but it seems like when I mention him, a lot of people are like, huh, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a fucking billionaire. And this book fucking changed my life. It fucking changed my life. I swear to God. I'm a different person if I don't read that book. I don't think I'm a millionaire if I don't read this book. This book set me on the path to success when I was 17. It's super valuable, super important. My biggest takeaway from that book was learning how to control my state. Tony called it state control. A simpler way to describe it would be to learn how to control your emotions. See, the average person has no control over their emotions. The average person is a fucking spaz. I see motherfuckers all pissed because it's raining. I'm like, you do know that this is planet Earth. And in this region of Earth, we have this thing called precipitation. And we have a system. This is going to happen frequently for the rest of your life. And you're telling me you're going to spaz about this shit each and every time? You, my friend, need to learn how to control your emotions. That's an extreme example, but I see people flipping out at airports, not able to control their emotions. I see people really getting themselves into precarious situations because of their inability to control their emotions. Look at Jonathan Majors. The dude formerly of Marvel, he got in it to his girl. His girl couldn't control her emotions. Bitches be tripping. We all know that. What'd he do, man? He was trying to like shove that hoe in the car. Then this motherfucker running down the street. Where he fucked up is he tried to shove her in the car. What you supposed to do when bitches start tripping, stay calm. Because if the police come, you going to jail, nigga. And that's what happened. He was charged. Had he been able to control his emotions, you know, he'd be in a different position. He'd still be making Marvel movies. You might have had to let that bitch fuck him up or something. But it happens. You know, I've been hit by women in the past. Hey, women, you can't beat their ass. Like, I know, it's weird. Then women can assault you. You can't, you got to stay calm. But if you can't, you end up like Jonathan Majors, Chris Brown. All our heroes. His inability to control your emotions. This is one example. But it's a good example. Had he known how to control his emotions, he'd be in a different position. You need to learn how to control your emotions because we've all done things that we would have done differently if we weren't angry or if we weren't too happy. If you want to accomplish something, you got to take action. But the quality of action depends on the state you're in. So if you're in a bad state, let's say the goal is to be a good father. So you want to spend time with your kids. But if you do that in a bad state, then the kids hate you. But if you do that in a good state, you're excited, you know, and you're making the kids happy when you're with them, then you accomplish the goal. So it's not just what you do, it's the state that you do it in. You get what I'm saying? If Jonathan Major would have just been like, bitch, calm down. If he would have been able to control his state, guess what? States are contagious. It's true, states are contagious. So when you get really good at state control, you become like Doctor Strange. So you're able to control the states of others. This is super powerful, especially if you're in sales. You got to be able to control the prospect's state to a certain degree. And it's good to be able to control your girlfriend's state, your kid's state. You know, my son, he started tripping, he's flipping out. He's a fucking toddler. I can change his state instantly. I know how to do it, but I have to stay calm. If I get frustrated and let him control my state, I'm no longer cause. I'm being affected by his state. I want to be the cause. Waking with Giant Within teach you everything you need to know about that. Great book. Read it now. First thing, I've probably given this book away more than any other book. Let's move around this list. Let's go to Stress Less, Accomplish More. This is a definitely should read. This book is about meditation, and meditation really helps you control your state. I already went into state control, but it's the reason I'm so motherfucking cool, calm, never nervous, never scared, never ran, never will fuck you up if I feel like it, but not because I'm mad. Is a conscious, oh damn, I have to fuck him up, and I can fuck you up calmly. Meditation is one of the tools I use to help control my state. I don't want to get into it more, but I think I've made a compelling argument for being able to control one state already. This book will help you with that. It's a should read. Now we're going to go to the one thing. All right, I'm going to put this in must read. This is a great book. I'm going to summarize it super quick. You should still read it. Most people, they say, hey man, new year, new me. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to also do this other thing. And then I'm going to do this other thing. And I'm going to do this thing too. And they end up going, this is how you go nowhere fast. Had you put that same amount of energy, you'd accomplish way more with the same or less effort. I remember when I was 2019 and I had all these different active income streams. I was super stressed out. Not stressed out, I was super burnt out because my focus and energy was going in all these different places, all these different businesses. And then I went on a vacation, came back, I shut down or sold all the businesses except one. And then that next year, promise you, I put all my resources and mental energy into one business, worked the same amount, but my income doubled. So a lot of times people, they do this shit and they say the average entrepreneur has 18 different income streams. Well, even if that's true, they didn't start them all at the same time. They did not start them all simultaneously. They got one going and then they started building the other one. It's kind of like we see in the circus or some shit, guys are spinning plates. They don't start spinning all the plates at once. They spin one, they get it going, then they spin the other one, they get it going. So you got to get something going first. But I see people trying to get them all going at once. Those people almost never succeed. Now, some dipshit, it's Elon Musk started space and Tesla at the same time. Elon Musk is a genius. You are some fucking guy. He is a genius. He can do all types of shit you can't do. And be clear, he did that after him and the homies sold PayPal for a few $1 billion. So he had a lot of disposable income in order to handle this. So if you are a genius with a few $1 billion, go ahead, start two businesses at once. If not, I think you should do what I did. This book goes into more detail about why that's important and specifically how to do it. A book you should read when you can is The Ultimate Sales Letters by Dan Kennedy. This is, if you are in any sort of business or there's something you're trying to sell, you're going to need to learn copywriting. And I don't mean like, when I say copywriting, I mean how to write words that are persuasive. If you go to the website for Celsius, you'll see a lot of words on that page about, the features and benefits of Celsius. That's called copy. It's meant to be persuasive writing. And you definitely need this to have a successful business. You need to learn that. This is probably my favorite book on it. It depends on where you're at. Read it when you can. The next book, I'm going to put this on must read. This is called The Creative Mind and Success. I'm not going to talk about it at all because it's a weird book, but I will show you my copy of it to let you know that I've read the shit out of this multiple times. And when I was struggling, I remember I'd be on the fucking F train, 5 a.m. I would just reread this shit over and over again. Found it super beneficial. I don't want to talk about it because it's super weird, but I like it a lot. Read now, Relentless by Tim Grover. I like this book so much, I have it tattooed on my arm. It says Relentless. And, Tim Grover, he was the trainer for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I guess I can stop there, but let's keep going. Dwayne Wade, he also worked with Gilbert Arenas and Charles Barkley and Mary Sierra. Oh, Russell Westbrook. Real quick, fun fact. I don't talk about this much. I have a cousin who I never met, like a fifth cousin, who married one of Russell Wilson's cousins. So we're like brothers is what I'm trying to say. Me and him are basically brothers. I only claim him when he wins Super Bowls. Other than that, I never mentioned it. Anyway, this book is not about working out. It's about the mindset it takes to be a champion. And, it just really impacted me. I think before I read this book, people would say, Brandon, you work too much. You don't go out. You need to take time off. You're obsessed with success. Like it was a bad thing, as if loving what you do or going super hard to be successful was some sort of disease. And I was hearing it so much that I started to believe maybe something's wrong with me. Then I read Relentless by Tim Grover, and I said, nothing's wrong with me. I'm just better than them. And when I say better, I mean more ambitious. And I'm just more ambitious, and I have different goals that are outside of I have goals that are outside of just, getting high, smoking weed, going on vacation. I want to accomplish something big, The level of intensity I was devoting to that goal was actually Required. Anybody who wants to be super successful, I think you should read that book. I think you'll love it. It allowed me to take my foot off the brake and smash the gas, stomp on the gas pedal, you know? Super, super helpful. When you can, you should read. You buy back your time. But the only reason I'm not making it urgent is because if you are already experiencing a level of success, it's more urgent for you. If you're the majority of my viewers, it's not as urgent, but this is gonna help you buy back your time. But if you ain't got no money, you ain't nothing to buy, baby. You ain't got no bread to buy back that time. So once you get some bread and you start experiencing some level of success, doesn't even have to be high success, you're gonna read that book. It's gonna be super helpful. But most of you motherfuckers ain't there yet. In order to get there, you got to read Deep Work by Newport. I don't know if I can really explain how good this book is. I can show you my copy and how I read the shit out of it. It's like I studied this shit, man. Like every page is marked up and shit. There's few times I say a book directly made me more money, but this book did. And it showed me the difference between working hard and just kind of doing busy work. You know, a lot of people are busy, but they're not making progress. And the difference is the kind of work they're putting in. This book goes into great detail about how to put in the kind of work that will actually move the needle and help you accomplish your goals. Required reading for anybody trying to succeed. Must read is Influence Caldini. It really depends on where you're at. If you already have a business and you're already doing shit, you already got shit popping, then it's up here. If not, then it's just a must read. Read the other three first, right? But Influence by Caldini. Okay, I don't say this publicly because I don't want the haters to know. That's why I'm gonna say it towards the end of this video, because the haters probably already stopped watching. The haters are the competitors. And I use the word competitor loosely. Just because you read the Bible don't mean you're competing with Jesus. But people want I'm trying to beat more. I don't want them to do what I'm about to say because it'll give them a strategic advantage, but I know they won't do it. That's why they get beat by me. So I'll say, I read this book or listen to the audiobook once a month, and I've been doing that for over a year. And so sometimes it's just while I'm working out. You know, I work out every day. So it's an hour a day. I listen to that book once a month. I go through that book, and every time I learn something. If you have a product or service that you want to sell, you have to learn how to influence people. If you want to grow your social media, what do they call people with large social medias? What? Influencers. So if you want to be an influencer, it stands to reason you should understand influence. This book is the Bible. It's the Bible for influence and persuasion. It's not a book you read. It's a book you study. I want you to think of it like a textbook. It's a book you study, read it over and over again. I read this book once a month, and every time I learn something new. Even if it's the same shit I read, it's like I understand it different because now I have more data points and more experience to draw from, so it just makes sense. And then, obviously, I did a whole video on this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think it's the greatest book of all time. I'm gonna put it first on the must read. I'm not gonna talk about it here because it's too much to talk about. It's the greatest book I ever read. You know, I know some fucking dumbass thinking you don't need to read the Bible. Like, motherfucker, you ain't read the whole Bible. I know you haven't because almost none of you have. I read the whole Bible. How to Win Friends and Influence People was better. Promise you. There's some holes in the plot. There's some holes in the Bible plot. It's a good book. I fucks with it. Jesus is my dog. This is a better book. I have a whole video on like a 40-minute video breaking down this book for you. Go check that video out right now.